Welcome to episode 62 of the Transformation Podcast. My name is Amanda.Escarcega, and I am your host. And the title of today's episode is What is Living Water with Tam Fulton. So before I introduce Tam, this is a really exciting day today because first of all, I really don't have many guests on this podcast. I think I've had maybe two in the past, and we're at episode 62. So this is a rare occasion. Tam and I have been getting to know each other the last few months. She's amazing. We align. We just really get along. I love who she is. I love what she's done in the health and fitness community. She's helped a lot of women not only get healthy, but also become financially free. And I really just look up to her, what she's done in the community. And she's doing awesome stuff. So she is a multiple six-figure earner and high-ticket affiliate marketing. In less than a year, she went from a broken, struggling personal trainer to 3Xing her income, all while healing her autoimmune diseases holistically. She founded the Awakening Impact Movement that teaches others how to have holistic health, generational wealth, and support our planet's sustainability. And she loves what she does because it has allowed herself and others to have true sovereignty and freedom. Welcome to the show, Tam Fulton.
Woo! I love you so much.
So there's so much to talk about. We already know that we can go on talking about many different things. We're going to just focus on water today because this is a really hot topic for me because I'm very versed in health, fitness, nutrition. But when I met you, I knew very little about water, and what I thought I did know was actually wrong. So I guess the first question that I have for you, just kind of kick off the conversation, is being in this business for the last 5 years, what questions do you get asked the most about water?
So good. Okay, first off, thank you for having me on here. And thank you, everybody that is willing to listen and learn something new. Because, like Amanda just said, she has been in the health and wellness industry for a long time. And she realized that she didn't know a lot of things. And the same thing was for me, being in the health and fitness space for a very long time. I was upset that I didn't know all that much about water, but it really is just about remembering and becoming open-minded and knowing that there is a huge suppression going on, not just in our food, in our health, in ways to become healthier, and of course in our water. And the water that we consume is so important because we are all made primarily of water. So I wanted to state that first and the importance of it. And then I also wanted to state that I am simply here to gift a few drops, no pun intended, that I have learned throughout my journey. But you are the brain, you are the knowledge seeker, you are the wise person that can create your own conscious thoughts, and you can be the person to look further into information. Your own intuition knows better than I ever will know. I'm just here to share what I have learned in this journey. And let me tell you, I am a learner. So I have like all these books that I dove into, a few of them. These are just a few. But I want to share truths that I have learned and researched. But I want you guys to not just take my word, not just take Amanda's word for things. Create your own knowledge because you are the truth seeker. Okay, so I wanted to first share that with you guys. And then to answer your question, Amanda, like what's the number one question that I get, right? It's like, we are all confused. We are all confused about water because there's so much information out there, right? Very similar to fitness. So many of us have this paralysis in even starting a fitness journey because we don't know where to start. This person's telling us to lift weights. This person's telling us to do Pilates. This person's saying track your macros. This person is saying don't track your macros. Like it's just, there's just so much information out there.
Right.
And marketing is really great at that, right? So like when you go to the grocery store, there are so many options for things, right? There's so many different colors for things. If you have television, if you watch commercials, you'll notice like, wow, there's so many different types of water options. There's so many different food options. Like there's constant marketing coming at us, and it's all for a scheme. It's all plotted. It's all planned. It's all created, like I was saying, based on colors we enjoy, sounds we enjoy, verbiage that makes us buy. So that's why I really wanted to express that you are the conscious truth seeker in all of this. So for me, when I came to a point of, okay, now I'm learning about water, I want to teach people more about water. So many people are asking, what kind of water should we consume? This was my first question, right? I grew up like most of us millennials, drinking out of the tap or drinking out of the hose. Like, we're not from Texas, you guys. So like, it would be hotter than shit outside, riding around on my bike, and I would just like go to my neighbor's hose, get a little sip, ride a few more miles, grab another sip. Like, that was normal. I believe it was in 2019 that there was a really sad article back home in Texas. I now live in Southern California, but back home in Texas, an 8-year-old kid died drinking tap water. And I was floored. I was floored. I had already been introduced to this water. I had already been sharing this medical grade machine, and it gave me even more purpose because that's how I grew up, and I thought that it should have been safer than it actually is, and nobody should die from water. Period. Excuse my cat. She is very vocal. If my cat comes, she just wants to be a part of the conversation too. So when it comes to water, where do we start? This is a book that I recommend to everybody. Water for H2, Water for Life, because I believe H2 water, hydrogen rich water, is the water that we should be consuming. Period, point blank. And what is H2? Where does it come from? How can we get it? Some of you guys may be really conscious to water, and you may be like, oh my gosh, yes, hydrogen water. I've been seeing it all over the place. So many people have been talking about it. Of course they have. Marketing works that way. Just like a couple of years ago, we started hearing so much about alkaline water.
Right.
Of course, alkaline water, molecular hydrogen, hydrogen-rich water, all of these waters have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, longer than any human has walked the planet. And what's so wild is that through this book, I learned about hydrogen water for the first time, right? I was like, why have, I mean, I can go into the suppression forever, but hydrogen water has been around way before us. And there's actually 7 places across the globe that hold this water fresh from the earth. Tecate, Mexico, Nordal, Germany. They hold it from the ground, and it basically is mimicking a grounding sequence, which, if you're new to what grounding is, it's when we're barefoot or naked on the earth and we're receiving those negative ions, which are positive, even though they're called negative ions. The negative ions are positive because they are helping our bodies fight off free radicals that are harming our body. So there are good free radicals, and then there's bad free radicals. Bad free radicals are what is causing us to age, causing inflammation, causing gut issues. Autoimmune is a huge topic of conversation right now, and has been for about a decade now. So if we can have more negative ions, if we can be closer to the earth, we can become healthier and we can become one with it. So the bonds, the hydrogen bonds in our water are so important. And so what we did, our company 50 years ago, the company we're working alongside 50 years ago, they studied these water vessels. They saw that this property, this H2 in the water, the molecular structure of it was so different that they chose to put it into medical machines first and put it in hospitals first, in Japan, which is the healthiest country in the world. And they started seeing insane transformations. They started seeing so many people, become healthier so much faster. And think about it. In America, you go to a hospital, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to hook you up to an IV. They're like, you need to be hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
They got to hook you up to it. So I think it's so fascinating that hospitals started with this first. we've helped hospitals during the pandemic start getting these machines. We're slowly coming into America, but it's very, very difficult medical field that is owned by big pharma, and that's a whole conversation I can go into. But to answer your question, hydrogen water, okay, also known as electrolyzed reduced water, is the best water in the world for our bodies. It's a living water that can help our living body become the best that it possibly can. And that's what we need. We need to have something that's alive, not have something that is dead.
So you touched on something that I actually didn't know about. I didn't know that the machines were first placed in hospitals in Japan. What kind of results are people getting there? And was that a stepping stone? Did they know that that was that they were going to be making this a bigger company, or did they come to realize that this is really, really impacting people on a bigger level than what they thought? And they're like, wow, we didn't know that it was this impactful. We need to share this with more people.
Yeah, I mean, it started small, right? Just like all good things, like start as something small, not knowing, still wanting to test the water, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So they started to see insane transformations in people, and people, recovering faster from all different types of ailments. And before I go into sharing any type of testimonial, I do want to state a disclaimer that I'm not making any medical claims. I do not want anybody to take this as medical advice. I am not a doctor. I don't have a PhD. I am solely a human that loves being their healthiest self. I do have a lot of certifications in nutrition and studied at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. I've clearly done a lot of research, but at the end of the day, I cannot put any medical claims around this device. Okay, no, nobody can, to be honest. Yeah, it's like the same thing as like big pharma. They're gonna say all these amazing things, but they're gonna be like, by the way, this is also gonna cause all these issues, da 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 da. And I'm just like, man, that sucks. That sucks that it causes all those issues. Why can't you guys be like more honest on it's just gonna be that issue? And that's something I wanted to talk about too, and as far as pharmaceuticals go. But what we saw with our company is we saw so many people having transformations of becoming hydrated. And that's where all of our ailments initially stem from, right? So if somebody is starting with cancer or any type of autoimmune diseases, it starts with a lack of hydration. Always. That's why when you go into the hospital, they're going to hook you up to an IV before they do any testing. Okay, because you need to be properly hydrated. It's why when you're seeing a personal trainer, they're going to be like, are you drinking half your body weight in ounces of water? Are you hydrating? You need to hydrate. Everything from an intracellular to an extracellular in our body is consumed primarily of water, right? We're like 75, 80% water. So water is important. Water is really, really important. And so what we were seeing in the hospitals is we were seeing people have such quick results that the owner of our company was like, we need to make them feasible for homes. We need to make home units, right? Because we started with like the big like industrial units first.
Right.
And then we shifted into the smaller at-home units. And we've been in America now for over or close to 3 decades. And we're in every country across the globe, which is just a representation of how much healing we are doing and how much expansion we are doing. So anywhere in the globe that you're currently at, whether you're in Africa, whether you're in Canada, Mexico, America, like you can get your hands on this type of living water, on these types of medical devices straight into your kitchen. And that's something that I will never take for granted. I literally bless my machine every day. It's my most touched appliance and item in my home because I use it for, cleaning solutions, hand sanitizer, veggie wash, laundry detergent. Like it's not just drinking water. We create pHs from very acidic of 2.5 to extremely alkaline of 11.5. So I need a drink.
It's interesting that you said that dehydration is the foundation or the root of most diseases, right? I know from some research as well that inflammation is also the root of a lot of issues and disease. So how are those two related, if you know, if you can share on that, dehydration and inflammation?
Inflammation. So when we have inflammation, a lot of the times it can cause like puffiness, right?
Right.
Puffiness in our bodies, or it's really a lack of detoxification, right? So when we were studying our bloodstream underneath a microscope, we were seeing like what's happening to our cells, right? And that's a lot of scientists, a lot of doctors, they do studies based on blood so that they can see the quickest results is through our blood. So they were studying our bloodstream from, okay, somebody who wakes up first thing in the morning and they drink coffee. What's their bloodstream doing? It's probably a little bit more active than if you just come out and you're not drinking anything. You're just fasted, right? From your slumbers. You're just fasted. If you're drinking that coffee, the cells are going to be moving a little bit faster, right? We studied people who were drinking tap water, filtered water, bottled water, RO water, fridge water. Their cells were moving like slow. They're just moving kind of like,
Plugging
okay,
along.
so really, yeah, just trucking along.
Yeah.
We then did our electrolyzed reduced water. People instantly test their blood faster than even the coffee. It was quick, so fast. So when it comes to inflammation, when it comes to detoxification, our bloodstream needs to be moving in order to move all of our systems, right? Like everything has to be moving. We're not meant to be stagnant. Nothing is, not even like our organs, not our bloodstream. Like we actually want things to be kind of
moving around. Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's why like even women, I love studying the woman's body, and I love studying, hormones and, what's going on through autoimmune, because I struggled with my autoimmune like majority of my life. And I was reading this article the other day about like jump roping or just jumping in place, and like how, actually moving our body, moving inside of our body is how we can actually stimulate more collagen. We can stimulate more of our hormones. We can, if you're having issues with like your cycles, like, so I'm like telling people, I'm like, excuse me, I'm like, start jumping around more, get jump rope, or if you like to have a lot of fun like me, get a freaking trampoline.
I was
Get
just
a
thinking
trampoline.
like that they had it right back in the 80s when you'd see everybody doing in their aerobics classes, like on their trampolines. Like they had it right. They were doing something
And
right.
like those moon shoes. Do you remember those moon
The
shoes?
moon
Like
shoes, right?
yeah. I'm like, dude, where can I get
Pogo
those? Like, bring that back. Absolutely. It's so funny. And like, something that I really did want to share on here, like I'm such like a book person, so I'm going to be sharing like
We
tons
are
of books.
These are our people.
I want you guys to read. I want you guys to read. So this doctor right here, I always butcher his last name. It's Dr. Batman Gedjidli. I'm sorry, I cannot. I cannot. But he wrote this book. It's like your body's many cries for water. You're not sick. You're thirsty. Don't treat thirst with medication. And he went in here and he was saying, so medications, okay, medications make over 2 million people sicker and kill over 100,000 people every year.
That's wild.
Wow. I mean, mistakes involved prescription kill further than that. Like he was even saying, he's like bad prescription costs way more than that. And the majority of drugs, more than 90%, only work in 30 to 50% of people.
Wow.
And here's the thing, he talks specifically about water. Like his website is watercure.com. I don't know how he can get away with that. But it's really insane that more and more doctors aren't looking into water first. And the fact of the matter is, he even talked about how doctors have been getting killed since the 70s for healing people holistically. My naturopathic doctor, I have to keep her so hush because she has seen her colleagues get ixnayed. And that is very sad to me. So that's why I'm like, you guys, we have to research this stuff on our own. We have to become the doctors and the conductors of our lives, or other people, like the marketing out there, is going to own our bodies, and we do not want that.
Yep, absolutely. I'm 100% on the same page as you. We really do have to take control of our health, and we really have to we really have to get curious, start digging, start learning, start looking, because if you don't decide what you're going to learn, you're going to be told what to know. And that's really big for me, is like, you guys, if health is important to you, if nutrition is important to you, it's not even about listening to a personal trainer or even a naturopathic doctor. It's working with one to see what works for your bio individuality, what works for your body when it comes to some things. But as far as water goes, we all need water. There might be some other things that differ from person to person, as far as like exercise or nutrition, certain foods that work for you, and supplements, but water is the same for all of us. And so that's why I was kind of mad too when I first heard about it. I'm like, I don't understand how this is not something that has been brought to my attention before. But once we are introduced to something, then it's up to us to start doing the digging. Then it's up to us to go down that rabbit hole and really get the rest of the information for ourselves. So I would love for you to share some things that you have benefited from in this water. I know that in the introduction, we talked about you healing your autoimmune. So if you'd like to share your story, I would love to hear it.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Thank you for creating this safe space for me. But yeah, so to kind of backtrack on me, I have been so blessed to have been raised by a woman who gave a fuck about her kids' health. My mother. Okay, my mom was always very holistic, and it really started when I was very young. I think I was like 4 or 5, and my mom's dad, my grandpa, ended up getting sick with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He was told that he only had a couple months to live, and my mom was in such denial that she started studying ways to help him heal holistically, because my grandpa was a Hungarian man that was not going to get caught up in any Western medicine. Heck no. You could barely get him out of his garden. There was no way you would have ever caught him in a hospital. Never. So, my mom did a bunch of research. She actually got my grandpa to eat raw vegan to become more alkaline, right? Because when you are in a cancerous state, you are very acidic. Acid is where disease is where cancer lives. So my mom found out that she needs to create more alkalinity inside her dad. And so raw veganism, it was. Little did she know she could have just changed his water. But but it was fascinating for me to witness at such a young age. I didn't even remember until I got sick that my mom had gone from my grandpa only supposed to live for a couple of months to living for an extra year. Amazing, amazing, absolutely amazing. And I didn't remember that story until I got sick, right? So I'm in my early 20s. I'm a personal trainer, nutrition coach. I loved what I did in fitness. I loved helping people. I was very much into eating organic. I was very much into tracking my macros. I was very into that world. I looked super healthy because I had the body. I had the abs, right? Nobody would have guessed that I was sick. And it was something that I kept inside because I was embarrassed, right? But internally, I was dying. I was tired every single day. I would sleep 8 hours at night, and I would still need like a 3-hour nap in the middle of the day. I was so addicted to pre-workouts, stimulants. I needed that caffeine boost. My acne, you guys, oh my gosh, like my acne, my forehead, my chin, like it was awful. My hair was falling out like crazy. It was so thin. And I could not eat any meat or dairy without becoming insanely inflamed afterwards. I would look pregnant after I would eat. And so I tried seeing different doctors. Everyone's like, your weight's good. Your blood work's coming back fine. You're fine. It's all in your head. You should see a therapist, right? I'm like, you guys, no, like there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. And so that's when I started studying at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. That's when I remembered my mom with my grandpa. And so your girl who grew up in Texas with the bodybuilder's mentality went raw vegan. I went raw vegan, like cold turkey overnight. Like I'm that kind of bitch. Like I will send it.
Yeah.
And like, it wasn't enjoyable, for me in the beginning. It was tough, but I was like, okay, maybe it'll help me start feeling better. I don't know. I stuck with veganism, not raw vegan. I was raw vegan maybe for like a year or so, but I stuck with veganism for 5 years and I never saw like exponential change. I ended up sticking with it for so long because I'm such an animal slut. I like fell in love with cows and like chickens. Like I was like, I can't eat them anymore, guys. Can't do it. Like I truly fell in love, even though so I finally had a doctor who was like, dude, Cam, you've got these autoimmune diseases. This is what you're flowing through. And then we stayed doing blood work every like 6 months or so. And then I finally got to a point to where I was like, okay, I'm ready to start eating meat again, because my naturopathic doctor was really trying to push it on me, but I was getting nervous. Anywho, I had a friend start talking about water, and just like Amanda, I was like, I don't know anything about this. I need to learn more. So I went to a live demonstration about this water, and a part of me was very fascinated, and another part of me was like, this sounds like a scam. These machines are too expensive. These people are making a percentage off selling these. So this is one of those things, what I'm talking about. No way. Like, forget these
You're not
guys.
gonna get me.
No, I was like, you guys ain't gonna get me. No way. I'm out of here. So I ended up leaving. Well, they gifted me some free water and I liked how it tasted. I was like, man, this tastes really good. I don't want to admit that. It tastes really good. And then I started diving into books. I started diving into my own research. I started meeting more people that had been drinking this water for an extended period of time and hearing their testimonials and just seeing their skin and seeing like how well they were doing in their health. I was like, okay, maybe this can do something for me, but I'm not going to tell anybody. I never told anybody that I was struggling with my health. I didn't even tell my parents I was struggling with my health at the time. So what really enticed me was the fact that I didn't know a lot about business models, like I was saying. So that's why I was so skeptical. I was like, I don't know what even like a real business model is. So let me educate myself on this. And I realized like I was actually stuck in the scheme, in the pyramid scheme. Like I had the personal trainers, the management, the gym owners, they were all above me where I was at. I wasn't that elite personal trainer yet. I wasn't that gym owner. I wasn't there. That was my goal to get to those places, but I was the bottom of the totem pole, right? So as I started to learn more about business models and how people get paid, I was like, okay, wow, now I feel silly ever thinking this was a scam because this is just how people get paid in life. And if you go buy a car, if you go buy a house, if you go to the grocery store, like so many people are getting paid off those one products. So I genuinely invested in this machine because numbers don't lie. And I broke down how much money I was spending on bottled water, my Brita filter, cleaning solution, laundry detergent, hand sanitizer. I was like, holy smokes, I'm already buying this gosh dang machine. I'm already buying it. I'm already buying it. So that's what pushed me to invest. And there was a financing option where I didn't have to put any of my own money down. So I invested. And then from there, like I had this machine in my home. I was like, what the fuck do I do with it? Thing's crazy. I got educated on it as I had it and drinking a gallon a day easily. I started detoxing like crazy. I was using the bathroom like 10 times a day. I was like hitting up my friend that I bought it from. I was like, is this normal? Like I'm being like a
I think I said the same thing to you when I first
yeah.
got the machine. I was like, I'm going to the bathroom like insanely amount of times. Is this normal? You were like, yes, that's to be expected.
Detox, baby. The detox is real. I actually in my torso, I had black metal pieces get pushed out of me. I think it's from getting tattooed for so many years that maybe some of the tattoos were coming out, some of the toxicity that I had put in my body. I don't
Oh,
know. I think it's like a huge detox. I ended up breaking out way like intensely before I started getting clearer. And that's because detoxes aren't always pleasant until they eventually are, right? And then you're like, wow, I'm transformed. But for me, I really didn't have a huge transformation until about 8 months into having this machine in my home. I just felt so different, so much more energy, skin, hair, everything transformed, digestion regular. I could eat meat and dairy again and feel amazing. And I went and got all my blood panels done like I would every, 6 to 12 months. And there was no signs of either of my autoimmune diseases. And that was 5 years ago, over 5 years ago. And I still go and do the same blood work, and I still have yet to have either of my autoimmune diseases flare up. So I'm passionate. I want to help more people. I know way too many women struggling with autoimmune, or struggling with miscarriages, or struggling with some sort of autoimmune, Crohn's, Lyme disease. We hear it all now, you know? So it's why I always tell people, like, I'm going to talk about this until the day that I die, because I want to help people die in their sleep without any pain. And that's how people are living in blue zones, where these magic water vessels are located. Like I mentioned in the beginning, there's 7 of them across the globe. This is where people thrive and live long, beautiful, abundant lives. And it's what we all deserve.
Yeah. I love that. I love the impact that you're making. You're super, super passionate about impacting people and making people healthier. Like it's clear that you're just so passionate about it. And I'm becoming more and more passionate about it as I drink the water, as I experience the results myself. And I've been sharing a little bit about it on social media, but I've already been getting more energy, clearing up brain fog. My skin is getting smoother. So I've only had the machine for about 3 weeks now. And I'm excited to see where I'm at 8 months in too. But Tam, let everybody know where they can find you on social media. Go ahead and plug yourself, and then I will also put all your details down below in the description box. If you do reach out to Tam, say, hey, I found you on the Transformation Podcast with Amanda. Let her know where you found her, but go ahead and plug yourself.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love you, Amanda. I love you all for tapping in and listening. Thanks for becoming sponges. And if you want to drip this out to others, we appreciate just sharing this. Share this podcast with somebody that you want to help become healthier. It would mean the world to us. You know, tag us if you're listening. I'm at Tam 2_ Fulton. Anybody else is trying to be me and they ain't the OG. But on Facebook, I'm Tam Salinas Fulton, and on TikTok, I believe I'm Tam Fulton. It's hard to miss a Tam with a neck and hand tats. So
True.
if that's me, you know.
That's true. Tam, thank you so much for being on today. I truly, truly appreciate you. You're becoming a good friend of mine, and I'm really happy to be here with you on this journey, helping people with their health, with their fitness, with their wellness, and spreading the word, letting people know what living water is. So thank you so much for being on. I truly appreciate you.
I love you. Thank you. I appreciate you.